Right, and hello everybody. Thanks for joining me from the greenhouse tonight. Somewhere a bit different. I don't know how good the audio is going to be, but we'll crack on. Pumpkins. They're fun to grow. Cook them or carve them. They're just an interesting plant to grow. And I think I'm going to title this the number one rule for beginners. And the number one rule is the slugs will eat them. The slugs will annihilate them. The slugs will do them in completely. And the reason for that is they don't just go for the leaves, they go for the stem, and they'll munch on the stem just as quickly as they'll munch on the leaf, and that'll kill them quick as you like. So if you're growing pumpkins for the first time, like I did last year, just remember that. The number one rule, slugs will annihilate them very quickly, so you need to protect them from slugs. Right, that's got that out of the way. That's all you need to know. You can go off and plant your pumpkins now if you want to see me do it. And what I'm doing it for a bit of a challenge for Elaine over at Allotment Joy. We'll crack on and sow some pumpkins. Right then, so that's got that out of the way, that the slugs will eat your pumpkins. But strangely, it's only in the early stages. Once they get to, I don't know, about 2 foot, then the slugs don't bother them. So it's just the young tender plants you've got to watch out for. After that, they're fine. Now, like I say, sowing some pumpkins couldn't be much easier, really. I'll use another pot to push it down. Just a bit of compost, bit of sieve compost, and I've mixed that 2 to 1 by volume with a bit of vermiculite just to hold the water. Because pumpkins, there again, it's just what I learned. I'm no expert. And from last year, is they like a lot of water to germinate. So using the famous Timu watering can, properly soak this compost. And they'll go in a tray in a minute as well. So soak the compost. Now apparently, you need to put the seed in on its edge. Sometimes you put it on the flat, it'll hold water and it'll rot. Probably nonsense, but whatever. Push it in on its edge, just like that. Another covering of compost over the top. And push that down. Now, these particular ones for Elaine's challenge are Atlantic Giant. Now, these seeds were kindly sent to me by Nick, a gardener, and he sent me his 5 biggest seeds, so obviously I'm going to win. So that was very good of him to do that. Another watering, and these will stand in water in a minute for about 20 minutes to get really, really moist. Soak everything up and get that seed moist so it will germinate. I mean, it couldn't be any easier, really. As well as the these Atlantic ones, I'll be sowing just some ordinary ones, mainly for the grandchildren to carve, because I don't really like pumpkins. I like growing them because they're pretty impressive how they grow. And if you want to see how I do it as we go along for the challenge, because I expect I'll be doing it a bit different to most people, because I'm in the fortunate position of we rent a field and we've got horses. And if you've got horses, you've got horse manure. And if you've got a few horses, you've got a lot of horse manure. So, like I did last year, I'll actually be growing these direct, or some of them, directly in a dung heap. Simple as that. Dig a bit of a hole, edge of the dung heap, and put them in. And that's another way you can grow these. You can make up a bit of a raised bed and just fill it full of manure. That's all. No soil, no compost, just manure. And if you do it now, let it sort of settle down a bit before you plant these. They'll grow in that, no problem whatsoever. All right. So I've run out of water, so I better get some more water. But, you know, it's just things I've picked up on. And they will grow massive. So that's the other thing you've got to think about, is where are you going to put them? If I can find them, I'll put up some photographs of the pumpkins I had last year and how much they grew. And it turned out to be pretty pointless, and in the end I cut them back to half the length. So you don't need to let it go as mad as I did last year. But it's like most things, it's as simple or as difficult as you make it. There's plenty of water. Pop in your seed. And that's the other nice thing about taking part in challenges. You get to sort of meet people, for want of a better word. Then you can follow along with the hashtag and see how other people are doing it. You can learn off them. You learn off people that are much, much better than you or I. Well, actually, you might be a professional pumpkin grower, I don't know. But it's just fun. And just a nice way to do something different and get different ideas for your gardening. Change it up a bit every year, do something a bit different. So there we go. Simple pumpkin planting for Elaine Allotment Joy's Giant Pumpkin Growing Challenge. I think there's one prize for the heaviest and one for the biggest girth. Giggity. So if you haven't done it already, get yourself a tape measure. If only everything was as simple as growing pumpkins. I mean, once they get going, you're away. So I'll plant the 5 seeds that Nick sent me. Probably won't, that's me in it. I'll end up planting them all out somewhere, or on a dung heap. There'll be pumpkins everywhere. I won't know what to do with them. But that's all part of the fun, isn't it? If you're not having fun, you're doing something wrong. So, as far as sowing them is concerned, I think the biggest takeaway from doing them last year is get the compost wet, keep it wet, so these seeds will germinate. Once you've got them germinated, as long as you can protect them from slugs. Did I mention that? Yeah, protect them from slugs at the early stages. Once you've got them going, got them going away, they'll fly. All right. Well, there we go. I even remembered all my labels. So that's a Brucey bonus. These won't be staying in the greenhouse. I think I'll take them out the polytunnel tomorrow. I think it's going to be a bit too hot in here for them. So there we go. Pumpkins in Padstow. Yeah, that's it. I hope everybody who's taking part does well and does extremely well, but not as good as me, obviously. But yeah, why not get some Atlantic Giant, stick them in a pot, take part, have some fun. Right, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. Cheers and go home.